Queguezo aguegu ganawagerono, aguegu watquanawarado uawanizarade. Ganasom yojats tano ganekawagere, aguaharori, nahodo igere, ageri wagetsku, tano gua igere zi yorihowano zinahodo, yugoyo daje. Yaguanek ide, tukara niju, nane Concord, Massachusetts, nuguadi, wajugua tarunyu, ogadina tawaide uawanizaradenyu, nene gigo uista ori wage. Tano gigo September tawasa jotu siskare. Kwa hungorawis taga tuniza watni guhrodo. Skatne o da wajo. Tano do guataga do watarunyu. Nene gigo uista ori wage. Tano ogadina hoda na dawaire. Ono. Wagare tuni zigi atkadaso ekadina na yotune. So watni gura. I'd just like to welcome all the Ganawagerono and our listeners that will be hearing this message today. I'd just like to extend my deepest, heartfelt, warm welcome and greetings to each and every one of you. I bring a message today that I feel is pretty paramount and serious as to where we are in this day and age. Myself, along with a group of people that are involved with the Center for American Studies, are going to be hosting what we're referring to as a Bretton Woods Convocation 4 that will be taking place September 29, 2015 at the world-famous Bretton Woods Hotel, which is situated just outside of Carroll, New Hampshire. And in the background of the Bretton Woods Hotel is the highest mountain in that area, which is Mount Washington. That being said, we know that as we look around today in this day and age, that there are many things that are affecting us. There's wars, there's environmental degradation, there's people that are suffering, there are people that are benefiting really, like, you know, in exploiting, and even when we look at the monetary system and what has transpired, we know that we have to now, as human beings, rethink our relationship to the natural world, Mother Earth, our relationship to money, and our relationship to each other. Because as we look around, we know that we are teeter-tottering. There are things that are happening in the natural world that are telling us that, you know, we're not in alignment with our actions daily. And if we don't reestablish that alignment, well, many of us are going to be up the creek without a paddle, so to speak, and we'll be crying in the wind when our needs are not going to get met. The challenges before us are with regards to the monetary system are huge. But nevertheless, we have to begin to start. I'll just give a little background information. In 1944, there were 44 nations that met at the famous Bretton Woods Hotel, representing approximately 730 nations. And they met for approximately a month. And when these nations met, they established the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, GATT, which became the World Trade Organization. And essentially, they took us into what is referred to now as a debt-based monetary system, where now they can just create money out of thin air. And this system, when you begin to look at it, has its pitfalls. And we have to now, as I'm saying, put our best collective thinking forward and ask ourselves, how are we going to do things different? Now, the founder for the Center for American Studies, Stuart Weeks, comes from a family of prominence. His great-grandfather, John Wingate Weeks, was an influential man. He was a congressman. He got Congress to pass the Weeks Act, which essentially said that there has to be lands that are preserved because people just couldn't go and clear cut that they had to manage the forests more effectively. There was a battleship that was named after him, but he was also, his son was also involved in 1944 at this Bretton Woods when this, the Federal Reserve Act was adopted and became part of this, if I say united front, where these people took the lead on it. So from 1944, they had a 50th anniversary. They had one last September, which was Bretton Woods 3. And now people that are understanding money, the economics of money, are saying that, you know, we have to now have a grassroots movement to seriously look at what is happening in the financial matters. And one of the things that we all know is that it's been said that he who is first shall be last, and he who is last shall be first. This whole Bretton Woods is taking now the people who are maybe considered to be last and putting them first. So Native people, Black people, disadvantaged students, you know, giving them the opportunity now to say their piece about what is happening. So there's going to be Native elders that are asked to come there, that we can do sunrise ceremonies, that we could do whatever we could to the best of our spiritual knowledge and wisdom, that we could get the knowledge and the wisdom and the good thinking and thought processes to help all of us rethink our relationship to money, our relationship to each other, and our relationship to each other. So there's people that are coming from all over the world to Bretton Woods. We're looking at the grandson of Gandhi, a real good friend of mine that has worked real closely with the family of the late Dr. Martin Luther King. And there's just so many. I don't know them all yet, and the number of people, but I'm just saying that to the Ganawagerono and other Native people, if you feel that this is something that you may want to be involved with, then we're just sharing this knowledge and this information. The other thing is I have a good friend, Alenka from Slovenia, who also will be putting on an exhibition with horses, because she has done portraits, photography, and using the power of horses to unite nations. And I invited her to come down because we will be going to the Nautic Healing Lodge and Learning Center, because every year they do what is referred to as a horse dance ceremony. So horses will definitely be a part of this process, because what happened was, if I go back a little bit, in 2003, I sat with a group of elders, and the discussion at that time was, in March of 2003, if we had the time and the people, that these horses would come across the land to wipe the tears of the seventh generation and begin the healing of the Earth Mother. And it was agreed, people committed to it. In the summer of 2003, there was horses that left from Vernon, British Columbia, and arrived on Six Nations Grand River Territory on August 27th of 2005. So we understand the significance and the spiritual importance of horses. And horses are also going to be part of this Bretton Woods, because we're bringing all the knowledge and the wisdom that we can from spiritual level, from power of love and peace, that people are starting to come together, and we're saying that we have to do better. As I said, we have to think our relationship to each other, we have to think our relationship to money, and our relationship to the natural world. Now in that, one of the things that I proposed that would take place is that we would use the words of condolence, because now as a global community, we all have to have our eyes wiped to see through a different lens. We all have to have our ears open to hear a different song. We all have to have our lumps in our throat removed so that we can speak our true gift of why we come to this place. So when all the nations of the world have gathered, that'll be the first words that will be done, so that hopefully we all can see differently, hear differently, speak differently, and do a different type of work. Not only for us, but the species that are at risk due to extinction, the animals, the insect world, the waters, all of those things in the natural world that need a voice and are hurting too. So here's where we come in, the Aboriginal people, to talk about that, to talk about the principles of love, peace, friendship, forgiveness that the peacemaker had laid out. And as far as I'm concerned, this is pretty prophetic. It says that one day that what would happen is the genius, the Aboriginal spiritual knowledge of this land would resurrect, and a new sun would begin to come up, and that sun would be that hope. And now it's here, and it has been here, but now it's happening in a way that I think is going to cause us to want to work together, to show demonstrative leadership, because it's not only going to benefit us. There's a lot of non-native people of different descent, that they too, when it comes to their government, have a hard time to take matters and have their voice heard. But as we begin to solidify and we take our governments, the indigenous knowledge, our government, and take this now to the forefront, armed with this different type of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, we will get the support, because we will have to right that imbalance that has taken place when we look at our treaty perspectives and what has happened with that. I'm going to end with a letter from the founder of the Center for American Studies, and it's dated today, July 15, 2015, Catbow Farm, Lancaster, New Hampshire, Turtle Island. Dear brothers and sisters, I write as the direct descendant of William Bradford, captain of the first pilgrim ship that touched these shores. As a member, this time around, of one of the oldest political military business families in America, and in my own right as founder of the Center for American Studies in Concord, Massachusetts, which is for many the heart and soul of the American nation. Concord, as you may know, Concord, heart, Mesquitequick, was the home of the first Wabin, the first non-native inland community in America. The crucible from whence was fired, the shot heard around the world. And that's referring to the first shot for the American Revolution. The home of Thoreau, Emerson, the Alcotts, Hawthorne, and Dame Margaret Fuller, America's Joan of Arc. Our work with the Center for American Studies carries on this spirited heritage based on the foundation provided by these original peoples of this land, our Native American roots. I write, brothers and sisters, in my capacity, noted, and on behalf of my fellow Americans, those of clear conscience, asphyxiating hearts, and goodwill. As was the case with my forebears at the Albany Congress, and that's when they invited the Confederacy to make a presentation at the request of Franklin, Payne, Madison, Jefferson, I write to ask you for a hand, your hand. I speak, as I trust you can appreciate, of that hand that is constituted of 5 fingers, each different, distinct, in order to do its particular job, each part of the same hand, whole, united, firm, and secure in its grasp. I write because I have both learned of and have been deeply moved by the story of your peacemaker and the Iroquois Confederation. Need I say more? It's a story, is it not, that bears a telling message, above all for our time. As I write, words of Ben Franklin come to heart and mind, words uncharacteristically pronounced for old Ben, who otherwise maintained a tinkle in his all-seeing eyes. Ben's words were spoken after the massacre of Native brothers and sisters in western Pennsylvania. There will never be peace in this land until justice is done to all Native peoples. My point. This story of the peacemaker is your story this time around. It is your story to tell, and its telling is needed, desperately so, in our day and age. For the tears are rising up again in the eyes of your mothers, sisters, wives, daughters. Are they not? For we, the white race in particular, intruders, foreigners to this land, have been caught in the vicious cycle of violence and blinded by violence, and have struck out in our pain at others, our red sisters and brothers, no less. We need your hand, firm, clear, united, with all 5 fingers, not crossed, striving against each other, but working together, all 5 fingers, to wipe away our tears with the doe skin, to clear the dust from our ears with your eagle feather, and to lift the healing waters to our lips, the lips of humanity, so that we can not only speak in one voice, conquered heart, the true promise of this old and new, ever new world. So that inspired by your story of the peacemaker and confederation, we can lift our voices in a song to the great spirit of this land. God shed his grace in thee and crown thy good with sister and brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Your brother, Stuart Sinclair Weeks. Now go on.
Hi, I'm Alenka Slavinec. I'm coming from Slovenia. This is the only country in the world has named love in the name of country. I met Gunnison Peacemaker in Concord when we were in the American Studies with Stuart Weeks. And we collaborate now on the project with horses. I'm a photographer for the horses. I have exhibition Slovenia in Us, Love in Us, preparing for Bretton Woods for the 4th Convocation. I like to present the horses as a universal language in each nation, each country. Horse is a powerful animal, but it's not just an animal. It has a spirit of freedom and has a spirit to move things and move people's hearts. How they're gonna move me with the creation of new photos from native Indian people, we will see that in the next days when I'm going to create the new photos, which I will include in my already existing exhibition, which will take place now in Bretton Woods. And it's Love in Us, and this will be a message of freedom and love for all. Thank you.